So today I'll give you 6 simple ways how you can master the art of pattern. Adding pattern or mixing different ones is a very fun way to express our personality, to show off our creativity, but also it has very practical side because it allows us to maximize the use of our wardrobes. So today I gathered some of the information and I filtered down 6 very simple and wearable ways how you can mix or introduce pattern into your look. Tip number 1, choose one dominant print. So when you are mixing the things up, pick the print you want to focus on and then start building the color palette from there. So let's say that you are going for the statement skirt and then pick the colors found in the skirt and bring the same color for the top, for the shoes, for the accessories. It is so much easier to build up on that certain print rather than deciding for the whole palette for the prints you want to use that day. So just choose one statement and then all the complementary pieces are coming from this color palette. If you don't have anything in this complementary color palette for that dominant print, then you can choose all other pieces in neutral tones. And neutral colors are all the whites, all the blacks, all the grays, and also beige tones. So there is a lot of different options here, and I think that introducing one dominant print is very easy yet very sophisticated way to add some of the excitement into your look without going too far. Now let's talk about the ways how you can mix several different prints. And the easiest way, of course, is again to look into the color palette. So choose the repetitive colors. If you are combining different prints, just choose the prints which are sharing the same color, at least one color. In this way, even totally different prints will complement each other because they're gonna share this one base color which will create cohesiveness in your look. The more of the colors are repetitive in the outfit, the more obvious the combination is. If you are advanced in mixing prints, then of course you can choose only the complementary colors. These colors are not the same, but when you are combining these colors, they look that they are meant to go together. Let's say orange and yellow. The color method is very easy way to introduce either one print into your look or combine several different prints. But of course, there are some other options you want to consider when combining different prints, and it leads us to tip number 3, which is mix prints of different scales. So when you are combining several different prints, always consider the size of the prints. Having prints in different sizes create that visual harmony, even if you are going for something very loud in terms of the color palette or your pattern. Especially if you are shorter, be aware of big and bold prints, because if you are wearing from head to toe these big prints, it might look a little bit too overwhelming on your frame. Let's say that you have decided to go for something bolder and bigger for your bottom part, then go for something smaller and busier for the upper part. So different scale of patterns will create this visual harmony and complementary combination. And let's move on to the next tip, which is tip number 4. Another way of combining several prints is to pay attention to the print family. So to say, plaids with plaids, florals with florals, polka dot with polka dots, stripes with stripes, and so on and so forth. Here it is very important that you are paying attention to the scale of the prints, because you don't want to get into the stripes from head to toe in the same scale, because it will look something that you are going into the jail. So wrong scale can put you to the jail. Okay, you got it? If you want to create more harmony in your look, then again you can pay attention to the color method. So to say, you can choose the colors from the same color palette, or you can go for complementary neutrals, or you can go for inverted color combination. So let's say summer florals on the white background goes together with winter florals on the black background. And now I think that we are very ready to spice up this game and to talk about tip number 5, treat prints as neutrals. So there is category of the prints which are known as classical prints. So stripes, polka dots, animal print, camel print, and plaid. So all these prints might be treated as neutral solid tones. As you remember, we talked in the tip number 1 that for the dominant pattern you have to choose some complementary colors to go with. So here is a twist of this formula, and instead of these solid tones you can go for classic prints. So to say, you can match floral skirt with striped top, polka dot with animal print, or stripes with animal print, plaid with stripes. So there are a lot of options, and it opens up a lot of possibilities to combine the clothes that we already have. If you feel that is a little bit out of your comfort zone, then of course you can take into consideration the color factor, and when combining these different prints you can marry everything choosing the same color palette. Remember that the most important factor when it comes to pulling off the look is the level of self-confidence, and you got to create this. So if you feel comfortable, if you are self-confident, if you feel good in this outfit, you will look amazing. And I wish that we all looked amazing. Now let's move on to the last tip, number 6, and here we are talking about the proportions, which is like the cherry on the cake, because the proportions create that visual harmony which is very pleasant for our eye. And here I'm talking about the rule of 60, 30 and 10. According to this rule, the main pattern or the main solid color should take up to 60% from your look. Then 30% goes for another pattern or solid color, and 10% for another pattern or solid color. It might look something like this. These proportions help to create the harmony in this look and are pleasant for the eyes. Another way of applying this rule that you can combine totally clashing prints together by adding a solid color in between those clashing prints. So let's say that you are going for maxi skirt and then you are adding white belt for solid color and something on top, obviously. If you want to see these tips being applied in a practical way, please check out the video I made with my friend Slava. Just to recap, it is important to pay attention to the color. Don't forget the size of the prints to create the beautiful proportions of 60, 30, 10. And don't forget that the family factor is also important when we are talking about the patterns. So that was all for today. Thank you for watching and see you very, very soon. Goodbye.